All right, welcome back to another PSI National Real Estate Exam prep. And today we're going to go over 5 questions around agency relationships, specifically around the creation of agency and non-agency agreements, disclosures of conflict of interest. So we're going to go over 5 questions today with explanations around questions that we think that you're going to see something very similar to on the exam. So to kick it off, question number 1, the type of listing contract that provides for payment for a commission to the broker, even though the owner makes a sale without the broker's aid, is called an exclusive right to sell listing. And so when we look between A and B, right, if you were having some internal battle of whether A or B, in an exclusive right to sell listing, the broker is guaranteed a commission upon sale. Whereas in the exclusive agency listing, the owner has the option to sell the property independently without incurring a commission obligation. So when you do get a question like this, and you will get something very similar, an exclusive right to sell listing has the most protections for you, the real estate agent. Question number 2. Each of the 2 brokerage companies claimed full commission for the sale of a property that was listed by both of the firms under an open listing agreement. So as we go through these answers, for an open listing agreement, it's C. The brokerage that was the procuring cause of the sale. And again, right, in an open listing arrangement, the seller has the freedom to engage multiple brokers as agents. So just picture like driving down the street and there's multiple signs in the yard. These brokers are permitted to work concurrently, and the seller is responsible for paying a commission solely to the broker who successfully brings in a buyer that is ready, willing, and able to make the purchase. The broker can demonstrate that their efforts directly led to the sale will be recognized as the procuring cause of the transaction and entitled to receive the commission. So, open listing, we are going to procuring cause. Question number 3. A salesperson representing a seller suggests to a buyer that the seller might be willing to accept less money. All right, so as we're looking through this, and the answer is going to be C, may have unintentionally created an undisclosed dual agency by suggesting that the buyer offer less than the listing price. And the rationale behind this, right, is when a salesperson provides guidance to a buyer, there is a possibility that the buyer may perceive the salesperson as representing their interest and acting as their advocate. In such case, the agent may unintentionally establish an implied agency relationship with the buyer, thereby breaching their duties of loyalty and confidentiality to their principal, who is the seller. It's important to note that the agent's fiduciary responsibility towards the seller persists despite their actions. The performance of the acts refers to providing services that do not involve a discretion or advice. And so as we're going through, it doesn't mean that if you were to do this, that you no longer represent the seller, but you now have implied agency, and the buyer may be thinking that you are representing them as an agent as well. So the answer is C. Question number 4. A real estate broker was responsible for a chain of events that resulted in the sale of one of their clients' properties. The broker's efforts are called D, the procuring cause. And the procuring cause is in a real estate transaction refers to the effort and work that leads to the desired outcome as stated in the brokerage agreement, which is, the sale of a house. If a broker initiates a series of events that ultimately results in a sale and remains actively involved without abandoning the transaction, they may be considered the procuring cause of the sale. And the last question, question number 5. The broker protection clause in a real estate listing contract provides what? And so we're talking about the holdover, and they're going to word it as the holdover or the broker protection clause. And the answer is B, that the property owner will pay the listing broker a commission if, within a specified time after the listing expires, and this is a time that both you and your client put into the agency agreement, the owner transfers the property to someone the broker originally introduced to the owner. So if you were the person that brought the buyer to the table and your agency agreement ends and you have a holdover clause, you are entitled to a commission. The holdover clause deals with the situation when a buyer is discovered during the listing period, but completes the transaction after. The shall and shall not provision in the listing agreement provision addresses the issue of whether the original agent will receive payment or if the property has been relisted with a new agent. It clearly specifies whether the original agent shall be compensated or shall not be compensated in such circumstances. So hopefully this was helpful. This is agency relationships for the National PSI Real Estate Exam. Stay tuned for next week for another video. If this was helpful, please hit like and please subscribe so you will be alerted next week when the next video comes out.